Hey everybody, this is Jen from Pure Juicer. I am so excited to have Joslyn here today. Joslyn is in Denver, Colorado. She is a coach. We call her Coach Joslyn. And we are going to hear about her story with Pure Juicer, but really just about her too. Our goal for these spotlights is to really highlight our community because you are truly who make Pure Juicer who we are. And so we're just so thrilled to have you here, Joslyn. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you. Oh, thank you. I'm super excited to be here and I appreciate the invite. One of my tiny people might walk in and
I love
just
it.
in case.
We love tiny
Okay.
people. They're one of the reasons why we love to juice is those tiny people.
Yes,
Well,
exactly.
why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, anything you want to share is fair game, what you do for a living, anything like that. Please tell us.
Okay. Well, I am a nutrition coach by trade, but I didn't start out that way. So I used to be an interior designer and a construction manager. So that's my background, which actually brought me into juicing. So I'll share that with you. But I own a business with my sister. It's an online health and wellness club for women of color called Fit and New. And then I also founded a cold pressed juicery called Pure Heart Juice.
I'm writing down. What is the name of the
Fit and New.
Fit and
So FITANDNU for nutrition.
yeah.
Yeah. And then Pure Heart Juice. So I've been doing health coaching for the last like 8 years.
Wow.
But it was something that really was a hobby at first because I was knee deep in corporate America, and being a Black female in the construction industry is what's the word? It was kind of hard because I didn't really have very many people to identify with, and then the stress and the workload caused me to get sick and I wasn't feeling great in my body. And so I was looking for ways to heal my body, but with food. And it was the craziest thing was like, eat more vegetables. And I was like, what? And so I didn't, it just seemed so simple,
Yeah.
but I wanted to experience it in like, a way that was just outside of putting vegetables on my plate. And so I eventually found books that led me to green smoothies. And then I found books that led me to juicing. And then I became a juiceaholic. Like it was a wrap after that.
What were the kind of juices that you used to get yourself started? Because juicing is, it's more intense, right? There's a lot there. But what juices did you go to?
Carrot was my first go to, just being a beginner and understanding that I needed to have more vegetables in my eating style. But I wanted it to be a juice that was sweet enough for me to go back to.
Smart.
And so that was really easy. But then, the carrots, they're bright. And so I'm like, what other fruits and vegetables can I use that are bright that are going to give me different colors? And so I just started to experiment with that.
What I love is that they say in health, your digestion starts with your eyes, like it makes your mouth water. And what you were doing is you were choosing things that make your mouth water. And I love bright colors too. That's one of my favorite things about juicing.
Yes, that kept me going. And so I used to juice every morning before work. And what started happening was my juices started to match my outfits, like not even planning it, but like I would get up, I would press juice, and then I would get dressed, and then I would go to work. And I remember walking around the firm always having like my mason jar of juice, and people would be like, oh my God, like why did your juice match your shoes? And it kept happening.
Will you please do a series of photos just like with that? Because I just want to see your outfits matching your juice. That's my kind of style. That's my kind of fashion.
Yes, every time it happens, I do tend to take a picture. So I should just put everything in a folder.
Yes, yes, please, and tag Pure Juicer so we can see them and celebrate.
Okay.
Did you have a Pure in the beginning, or when did you find Pure in along this journey?
Yeah, so I started juicing like 12 years ago. I didn't
Oh,
have a Pure.
yeah.
But I found Pure during the pandemic.
Okay.
So it was about 12 years ago when I started the juice company because it was a hobby,
Yeah.
and then it turned into doing something at farmers markets, and then people wanted it, so I just created a business. But I let it go, and during the pandemic, I was just like, I want to juice again, and I want to juice for people. Like, this is the perfect time to do it. But I knew I needed more than what I would just get at Target. And
Yeah.
so I started doing the research, and that's when I found Pure, and I was so excited.
So exciting. So you've had Pure for a couple of years then, right? 2 or 3 years, depending on where.
Mm-hmm.
Good, good.
Yeah,
And you're using
about
it for
three
your
years.
small business. I mean, it's so amazing how many people, and I get a lot of people that ask me for juice too, but once they know that you're juicing, everybody's like, "Can you make me some juice? Because I want it. I just don't want to make it."
Right. Yes, that's the thing. So during the pandemic, I started pressing juice and delivering it to people's door.
Yeah.
And it worked well until it didn't, like when inflation costs hit produce and it just got really hard. So I started to think about what really got me juicing, and I wanted to help other people do the same. And so I flipped the business model, and now Pure Heart Juice is a raw food teaching kitchen and a pop up juice bar. So you
Yeah.
can come and take classes with me. I'll teach you how to juice from start to finish or make anything else that the Pure can
Yeah.
create just using raw fruits and vegetables. And then the juice bar element, it's nice. Like people like to be able to buy juice. So I
Yeah.
still wanted to hold on to that, but just in pop-up settings.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I wanted to close the loop on you found the juicer to help with the stressful job that you had. And did you find that juicing and eating vegetables, did that help with that stress?
Yes, because I would do it every morning before work. So
Yeah.
that was just the action of that was therapeutic, and the sensory application that comes with juicing, like you're smelling everything and you see all the different colors. So it definitely changed my mood, but then it also impacted my energy. So I went from juicing to juicing and then walking before work, juicing and then running before work. And so my body just transformed, and it didn't take long. It didn't take long. And people were asking me, what are you doing? And but it's it like juicing. That
Yeah.
was the gateway for me.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. But bravo to you, because the hardest step is actually starting. So,
Mhm.
and I love that you're sharing it with other people in the community. And you said it's online too, so people that might not be in Denver can do the fit anew. Is that an online program too?
Yes, but it's two different programs since we're two different brands. So Pure Heart Juice, the raw food teaching kitchen, is the sister company to
Yeah.
Fit and New.
Yeah.
And so Fit and New really just focuses on the programming aspect of preventing disease. So how can you build routines so that you start to form habits in your fitness or nutrition journey?
Yeah.
And then Pure Heart Juice is like the application. This is the hands-on. Let's really experiment with adjusting our eating style in real time.
Yeah. I love it. Um, are you using Pure Juicer at home now, or is it mainly in the work setting?
Both.
Both. Okay.
So, yeah, so I use it at home and in the work setting. My goal is for the classes, because not when I host, so far it's just been about 8 people, but I want everyone to be able to have a pure juicer during the class.
Yeah,
So that's one of my goals
that's
because
amazing.
I just take my juicer back and forth.
You do? Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah,
you're clearly not just running, you're lifting weights too. That is
right.
beast. Yeah. Yeah. How often are you juicing for yourself? Are you drinking juice every day still, or is it changed?
It changes all the time,
Yeah.
but lately I like to press for 3 days at a time.
Hmm.
And so I'll drink it at least 3 days out of the week.
Yep.
But then if I could get another press day in, it'll be every day, but at least 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't drink juice every day anymore either, but you know what I really love is making really strong, potent juice and turning them into juice cubes and then dropping them into my water because it makes me
Mm.
I like to drink water. In fact, I gave cranberry pomegranate juice cubes to a friend of mine who doesn't really like juice. And I was
Uh-huh.
like, drink these, they're so good for, preventing UTIs and whatever it is like in your system. And she's like, I actually love those because those I can drink. And that's a great way to get juice and the nutrients, but I don't know, in a different way.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. I'm gonna have to try that.
Yeah.
I also saw shrubs on you guys' website, and I was like, whoa, what is that? I had never even heard of it before, but I'm anxious to try it,
You
try some
know,
recipes.
we really love doing different things with the juicer because it's an investment, and if you go through phases where you may not want to be juicing, what else could you use it for? And so we're experimenting with different things. I really loved creating those shrubs because part of the fun was just asking the question, can we reduce the fermentation process from 3 days to 2 days if we grind everything so we have a greater surface area? And we actually found that was very true. It was delicious. I have a friend from a Michelin star restaurant. She was a sommelier there, and she was testing. She's like, it's actually perfect. So and you can do it with
Wow.
anything. So you can do it with berries. You can do it with, I mean, almost like anything on sale, right? But like whole
Hmm.
pineapples and not just the core and the inside, but you can juice the outside as well. Although I just had a friend say she had an allergic reaction to the pineapple outside,
Oh, the
so
skin.
be careful of that. But yeah,
Hmm.
it was really fun, and I still have the dehydrated powders that we created from the shrubs too. I don't know if you saw that, but I took the cranberry, pomegranate,
Mm.
orange, clove, and I
Uh-huh.
dehydrated it. I ground it up in stage one, and it is the most amazing fragrant powder. So good.
Really? So
Yeah.
what do you do with the powder?
Okay, so
You
you
put
can
it.
turn it into tea. So you can, do that with anything. You can do lemon tea, you can do anything, you can dehydrate anything and turn it into a powder. You can do that with ginger, turmeric, apples. So you can make it into tea. I made it into biscotti. My brother's like, let's make it into biscotti. So I did that. And I did a little bit
Oh.
finer. I ground it a little bit finer and I sprinkled it on the top with a little sugar.
Hmm.
But it's so flavorful and fragrant. You can still smell all the orange and the clove and everything in there. And then
Mm.
what else have I used it for? I'm trying to think of what it was. Yeah, tea and
Put it in
cookies
smoothies.
and smoothies. And then I'll just sprinkle it on top of juices as well. So
Mm.
it's kind of yummy because it will almost get a little water in it. And so it's kind of like a yummy thing just to nibble on. So
Mm. Okay, I can't wait to try that.
yeah, stage one. Do not use a grid. Don't need a grid or anything, but just try and keep things
Okay.
separate. Just know that you've got this half horsepower motor that will want to like rip everything out. So
Yeah.
you can maybe try a 12 if it's too much, but yes,
Okay.
a 12 or no grid at all.
Okay. Yeah, that'll be something cool to teach in a class because I
Oh, yeah.
want people to learn not just juicing, but how to make nut milks,
Yeah. Yep.
and whatever else. Nut butter,
Nut
you
butter
know?
takes seconds. I mean,
Yeah.
you can literally just make what you want that day. Yeah, nut butters, nut milks. I just made a cashew milk. The trick to the cashew milk is it's so good. You blend it. You don't really even need to soak it. I put in some dates because I do like a little bit of that natural sweetness. You don't need
Hmm.
vanilla, or I mean, put vanilla, but you don't need any syrup or anything else in it. And then we strain it, and then I wrap it in 2 cloths because it's really mushy. And then don't
Hmm.
press it all the way. It's the only thing I've ever found where you just do not want to press it with the full pressure of 2.5 tons.
Oh.
It retains
Uh-huh.
some of the water, but
Uh-huh.
when you're done with it, scrape it up and put it into something, put it in the fridge or put it in the freezer, and then turn it into an ice cream. So you've got this amazing cashew ice cream that you can do with
Oh,
coconuts, like coconut milk,
yes.
like frozen, and then you can make delicious ice creams.
Yes. Okay, love that. My kids, they have a business. They're called the Cake Pop Kids, and they make gluten-free cake pops. So I've been putting some of the pulp, like carrot pulp, and
Yeah.
things like that. We'll mix it in with their cake pop mix. But they also want to do nice cream this summer, so we can do that.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the
okay.
thing about nice creams, I'll show you a picture of it. I'll send you a picture is when you make it and then you put it back in the freezer, it will freeze hard as a rock. So it's almost like a popsicle. So it's, if you grind it, if you use the grinder, it's ice cream. It's soft and melts in your mouth. If you put it back in the freezer or keep it frozen, it will be hard like a popsicle.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So
which is
you
kind of cool too.
what when you let it thaw though, then it gets like creamy.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But play with it. Play with it before you sell. I would say like popsicle shapes are going to be great for that. And then,
Mm,
or even if you have the juicer there and you can just make it, take
yeah.
whatever's frozen and then just make it and then it's perfect.
Yeah, like a soft serve.
Yeah, it's like a soft serve, exactly. With some
Okay.
sprinkles on the top.
Yes.
I love that you've
Ooh, okay.
incorporated so many healthy ideas with your children. And do they drink juice?
They do if it's the right color.
Uh,
So yeah, my son, he'll drink a purple one. So
yeah,
like if I'll do blueberries and I like to put red cabbage in it and then just make it on the sweeter side, he'll drink that.
yeah.
Um, my daughter, not so much. She's the
Really?
youngest one.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, well, I take that back. If I have pears because they're like addicted to pears, then
Huh.
they're all about that. They just want straight pear juice.
Right on. Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll send you at least, you might have one already, but we'll send you at least a thermos. That way they won't have to look at the color at all and just get them a
Oh,
simple
right.
straw. And that's our favorite trick because I've made some really ugly juices, but that tastes really good. But as long as you don't
Yeah.
see it, you don't really think about it.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's smart.
Yeah. Okay, so pure juicer. Let me see. Let's just talk about like what your impression is of two-stage juicing and what was your first impression and what do what is your impression of it now?
hmm Well, I know I was looking for a two-stage juicer because I wanted to preserve as many enzymes as possible.
Yeah.
And with all those years that I was juicing for myself and others, I was using centrifugal and it was, slowing down everything. Like you have to drink it faster so you can't keep it longer. Um, so the fact that the pure has the two stages and it lasts so much longer just in the fridge
Yeah.
was really amazing. And it tastes great and it's pure. Like taste the difference. You really taste the difference.
With a
So I was
centrifugal
happy
too,
about
I mean
that.
the foam is there's a big difference in foam, right?
Yes. Yes, huge. And so
Yeah.
like I would be at farmers markets juicing live with centrifugal juicers. But like once you pour it in a cup, half of it was foam.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is a sign of oxidation. That's actually the oxygen getting into the produce, which is part of why the juices don't last as long, is you've got the oxidation already happening. So it's how it's ground. So yeah, the grinder of the two-stage juicer is really unique that way. It's not too fast and it's not too slow. It's just right.
hmm Yeah, yeah, it is just right. And so this past weekend, in my juice class, we had the one pure and then the other juicers. They were two stage. No, they were not two stage, but the juicers on the market that call themselves cold press that aren't two stage. So we were using those, but they were. It took double the amount of time, and it was half the yield
Yeah.
for the juice. So it wasn't everyone was paired up, but the pair that was on the pure, like they had all types of beautiful juice to take home with them. While everyone else, their juice was just like half as great, but you know, they still got what they needed, but they could have had more.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they can bring the pulp over to the pier and just press it.
Yes, yes, we ended up doing that.
Did you
Yeah.
really?
Uh-huh.
It's too bad because the way in which it's ground is, it's not as good, but it is satisfying to see all the juice come out.
Yeah,
Definitely need a
definitely.
thermos for the color of that juice when it comes out once
Yeah.
it's pressed.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, thanks for sharing that education with your community members and the people that are in your
Mhm.
classes. I think that's really important. And we do hope to get more research out there that talks about the difference between the juices. I'm really looking at the viscosity, the soluble fiber, because there is a rich silkiness, but it's a thick silkiness, but um, it's not chewy, like there's no soluble fiber. It's a very different type of
Mhm.
texture. Wouldn't you, is that which, do you agree with that, or how would you describe it?
Yes, I definitely agree with that. It has luster. That's
Luster?
yeah, that's
Ooh.
how I would describe it.
Ooh.
It's not flat, it's lustrous.
Um, you can be part of the marketing department anytime you want. That's amazing. I
Yeah.
want lustrous juice right now. I'm gonna go out and make some when we're done. So this
Yes.
is great. So you have people that are just getting started for juicing. What do you tell them as far as how do you get started, or what would you tell somebody that's watching this video? Like, how do you get started juicing, or how did you? Like, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to start with the benefit that they're seeking,
Mm,
because there's so much information out there, whether you have a book or not, you could still Google like a juice for more energy or less inflammation or whatever, just so that they can emotionally get attached to what their outcome could be, because that's what it was for me. And so I just kept going and going and going because I was in search of the result.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
brilliant. And carrots are such a great starting juice. I think you started with
Hmm.
perfect. And Norman Walker, who was the creator of the original two-stage juicer, everything was cured with carrot juice and spinach. Like those were his go-tos for everything. But I noticed right away when I started juicing that my skin, I mean, I never had like blemishes, but I just feel like there is a brightness to my skin. And I noticed that with all people who just get started and use carrots, that you'll see it on the
Yeah.
outside, and you've got to believe whatever is happening on the outside is also brightening on the inside too.
Yes, definitely. For me, the first thing I noticed was my eyes. My eyes got brighter,
Mm,
whiter, and just the brown of my eyes was more clear.
yeah. Oh, I love that. I love that. I'm
Hmm.
gonna look at people's eyes next time too, when they like a before and after. So yeah, your eyes are gorgeous.
Yes.
Your teeth are beautiful too. Like you're just like you've just got a beautiful glow to
Ah.
you. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about nutrition and about juicing?
So juicing is a great place for anyone to start. If ever you want to find a way to increase your fruit and vegetable intake, but you're not a big fan of eating them, start with juicing. Just drink them. And then that could be your gateway to so many other things.
So how can someone get
It's
in touch
okay.
with you and even go to a class if they're in the area?
So Instagram is a great place. Fit and New, FITANDNU, Club for Women of Color. And then if you want to join a juice class, either in person or virtually, you can follow Pure Heart Juice on Instagram.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time. We would not be able to do what we do without you. So thank you for being part of the community and sharing so much knowledge and inspiration for everyone who is trying to make a difference in their health, which is not always easy to do. So thank you so much from all of us up here for that. And we can't wait to see what
Thank
great things
you.
are to come for you.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.